Tamily. Welcome to our 90-second Ask Tamily interview, where our guest will be Chrissy. Her Instagram name is Chrissy for Tam, and we will be connecting with her momentarily. So I cannot believe it's our 90-second Ask Tamily interview. Hello.
Hey. Hi, girl.
I would cheers you, but I haven't put the alcohol in the glass yet.
I'm still playing with my lighting here. Give me a second.
Well, I thought
And now my
I put
dog's
a filter
barking.
on here, and it doesn't really look.
What's that?
I thought I put a filter on here, but it doesn't really look like it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it is? Okay. Well, you look
All right.
phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. There, how's that? Mood lighting.
That's good. So, your first question is going to be, what are you drinking? And I'm going to make this drink while you tell us.
All right. So I am drinking a Dole Whip, adult version of a Dole Whip from Disney World.
Oh!
And I actually did it in my little Jack Skellington chalice here that I drink out of all the time. So yeah, it's basically it's rum, pina colada mix, a little bit of pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kind of experimenting with stuff. I'm not a big cocktail drinker.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
That sounds.
I'm pretty basic.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
fancy cocktails. So this is
yes, you
Fireball,
do.
Jack Daniel's, honey, and 7-Up.
Nice.
You're very fancy with your drink. That sounds so perfect. I'll need to have one the next time we're allowed to be within 6 feet of each other.
Sounds good.
So thank you for joining us for our second Ask Tamily happy hour interview. I feel like we should do happy hour interviews for the whole coronavirus. But we'll go ahead and start with some Tracy questions for you. It looks like we might be frozen. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's see if we might need to reconnect. Oh, you're there. Okay. What is going on? Oh, gosh. Are you able to hear me?
I am now.
All right. I think we just went
Okay.
to a little spot, but that's fine. We'll start your Tracy questions with when and how did you start the Tracy Anderson method?
Okay, so I started back in 2012, and my journey was kind of sporadic for a little bit. I first found her workouts on Pinterest.
Oh.
I had heard of her before, of course, as a celebrity trainer. Didn't think that was something we would ever have access to. I had no clue. So then I found the arm workout from the original Matt DVD on Pinterest, and I thought, okay,
Oh.
I'll try this because I'm one of those people that I could just lift super heavy weights all the time, of course, and then just have no definition, nothing whatsoever. It's just a waste of time basically for me. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try this because it was labeled 8 minutes hardest workout you'll ever do or something like that, and they weren't kidding. So I had just was doing those little snippets on Pinterest, and then so I thought, well, I'm gonna try the entire DVD. So I was doing that for a couple of months, and then I got the dance cardio DVD that went with that one. And then I was doing those two for quite a while, and then um, I would say maybe about a year later, finally got into Metamorphosis, and then just kind of went through there, just continuity, and now I've been streaming for about a little over a year and a half now.
Okay. Wow. So what is your routine around your workout now? Which class do you do, and are you doing any dance cardio?
I am right now trying to primarily stick with fundamental since I've been back from my hiatus there for what, a little over 3 months with my knee injury. So I still like to kind of sprinkle in beginners. So back in November, I kind of did this challenge for myself where I just kind of wanted to see what kind of results I would get if I primarily did fundamental, and then the days I wanted to do DC, I would do beginners, just more so for time, because I would get home from work super late, and I can't even work out as late as you do. And just having just even the stamina to really just do a full, 30, sometimes 45 minutes of DC if I wanted to. So that's basically what I do. So I primarily am doing fundamental right now. The last couple classes since I came back to streaming have been perfect for me to come back to. And then I'll do like I call it like a check-in day where I'll just do
Mhm.
beginners and maybe a bonus centric and then do some DC. So I think it's important for all of us, no matter how long we've been doing the method, to just kind of have those days, whatever level that is for you,
Mhm.
to just kind of say, okay, let's check in. Let's really focus on form
Mhm.
today and just kind of, see how I've
Yeah,
been.
that's a very good
So,
point. I always forget about the bonus content and, focusing on the centrics. Like that's where, you get a lot of those results like in metamorphosis, and
yeah,
we just have so much
and
content. Like you could work
I
out
know.
for 10 hours a day.
Yep.
Um, have you faced any challenges in your journey with the method?
Um, yeah, I mean, and there are some days where I feel like, wow, like I've been doing this for so long. Why do I feel so clunky today? I actually just had a day like that the other day, and you just got to remember that we all have days like that. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, trying to think of, yeah, some honestly, it's weird. Sometimes just motivation. Which is, I mean, I'm sure we all face that, but um I don't know. Just sometimes there's just days where it's like, man, this just feels so daunting because it's wonderfully difficult every time you do it. And there are just some days where it's like, okay, can I really do this?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like doing the entire workout.
So we have a question in the chat from Nicole, and she would like to
Hey, Nicole.
know who you worked out with today.
Oh, just a few queens, no big deal. So today we did Zoom with our lovely Suzanne and Nicole
So,
and Sintra, Emily, and Jenny.
mhm.
And it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, those workouts. It's just funny. I mean, we're not even really together, and it's like so energizing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like
Yeah, it
excited
is.
about that Zoom workout as like a vitality week, like
I know.
especially at this time of our lives.
And it's such a cool thing about the Tamily, you never really feel alone
Mhm.
because, we're such a community. We're such a wonderful group of people. And at any point, someone's probably tamming with you somewhere around the world. But it just kind of takes it to that next level when you're doing it live with somebody together.
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
yeah, it really is. Um,
Yeah.
so when did you discover the Tamily?
That's a tough one. I can never really quite remember. I want to say probably roughly 2015
Okay.
or so, very loosely. And like a lot of us, I just kind of started finding some folks and, just kind of quietly watched. And, I probably didn't really start posting too much until after I did the crash course in Chicago in 16.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so, um, after that, yeah, I got into, posting a little bit more, and then I disappeared for a while. And just the bigger that, the Instagram community has gotten, it's just been, more and more fun.
Mhm.
So,
So, have you met many people from the Tamily in person?
yes, I have. I've actually met quite a few. And of course, there was our epic Chicago meetup that had what,
Yeah,
40
I think,
or so of us, I think.
yeah, 40 Tamily.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I have. So this is so off subject, but this room is going to eventually be my new Tam cave. This is our guest room that never really gets used.
Okay.
So one of my quarantine projects, even though I'm still working, was this board behind me.
Okay.
I don't know if it's cute or creepy,
It's cute.
but let me bring you closer. So you can see I just did like every meetup I've had. I
Oh,
just kind of printed out a bunch of pictures of everybody.
that's
And right there is our
cool.
huge Chicago meetup from
Oh,
back
that's
in
cool.
February.
Gosh,
Uh,
we've had a lot of meetups.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's a couple pictures from each meetup in there, but yeah, I thought that was kind of fun to do. So
Yeah,
I just wanted,
definitely.
it kind of just started with the
Awesome.
idea of doing a couple
Mhm,
of pictures.
mhm.
And then I thought, well, I've had so many meetups and met so many wonderful people that I just kind of want them all up there. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is fantastic.
yeah. So, perfect little Tam cave.
Definitely. That's so cute. Um,
Thanks.
so Nicole asked another question. She said, I love your last song posts. Do you remember the first song?
Ooh. It's usually the same song because every time I start my damn Spotify, it won't shuffle right away. So it's usually, I think it's called You Came to Party by Too Short.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
that's the first one on my list. Yeah.
very similar to what I consider my first song, the Welcome
Yeah,
Party song. That's so perfect.
there you go. Yeah.
That's a very good song. Um, okay, then
And that
Nicole asked,
that was started by, sorry, I was gonna say credit to Jen at Glow Getter Sunshine for starting the last song
oh,
posts. I thought
okay.
that was really fun. So
I
yeah.
thought you started it.
Nah, I can't take credit.
Jen was also an Ask Tamily interview 9,000 years ago. I think she might have been in like the first 10. Um,
Oh wow.
so then Nicole said the first song from your first streaming class. Do you remember the first song from your first streaming class?
I don't, but there were a couple songs from when I started streaming that I never would ever like listen to on my own that just I don't know, there's just something that I connected to them, and there's a Robin song, I believe, called Give Me Love,
Okay.
I think, and then oh shoot. There was one by Sierra and I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, for some reason Tracy was kind of playing those a lot those first couple weeks that I was streaming,
Okay.
and I liked those, so I added them to my playlist.
So Natalia asked, what is in your cup? So can you tell us again what the drink is called?
Yeah, so it's basically an adult version of the Disney Dole Whip, their little famous dessert, pineapple, like soft serve ice cream or something. So I kind of did my little version of it. So it's banana rum and pineapple, and I did pina colada mix.
Oh,
So there's several different recipes for that online, but so
we should just
that's what
keep
I'm
talking
drinking right
about
now.
that drink.
I know it's amazing.
Well, if there's any other questions, of course, people can type them into the chat, but I think I got all the ones that are in there right now. Um, so can you tell us when you first posted to Instagram and what the post was?
Oh, it might have been. It wasn't on my Chrissy for Tam page because I didn't have that yet. I was still when I first started posting, I was posting on my personal
Okay.
page.
Oh,
Um, like yeah, my potions professor. So that would have been, I'm guessing, right around when I did the crash course,
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
is when I finally first did a post. And I kind of did a little collage of me doing some cardio and yeah, like a couple of regular moves. But I do, if I go all the way to the beginning of my Chrissy for Tam, it's so funny because yeah, it's just when some of us start recording, you just don't have the camera angle right. It's just kind of like, from my hips down or just like,
Ah,
bounce.
right. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Who in the Tamily inspires you?
Who doesn't? I mean, everybody is so incredible, I mean, from my big thing is we're all superstars. Whether we have been with Tracy since the very beginning and everyone knows our name to some of the guys and gals that are just starting out. We are all freaking incredible. Like you say, we're all athletes. And every single person that does this deserves a shout out and is just so inspiring.
I completely agree. How do you personally get and stay motivated to work out, especially when you have things like an injury that can give you a setback?
Um, One of my biggest things is just to remind myself, I mean, of course, how important it is to take care of ourselves, but just how good I feel when I'm consistent. It's such a big difference because, we can take a few days or a few weeks, whatever, and, we just notice that our bodies don't really like to hold on to that as long as we'd like them to.
Well,
And, but the funny thing is, and I might not be answering this question right, but, I hadn't really done much of the method for a couple of months, and I was kind of slowly starting to, do more of like the original mat, before I was ready to get back into streaming and do
mhm.
just to kind of test the knee as it was healing. And while my stamina was awful and I'm still working on building that up, I felt like my strength really surprisingly was still pretty much there.
Mhm.
The fact that I could jump back into fundamental so
Mhm.
quickly and get through the whole class kind of astounded me. But then at the same time, we kind of already know that. That's, what Tracy says, and that's the wonderful thing. We're consistent and our bodies are so used to this type of movement and it's so beneficial for us that yeah, like it's not like I was just doing any sort of random form of exercise and,
Right.
got weak for a couple of months while I laid around and,
Right.
so
Yeah, and
did I
Tracy
answer the
does,
question?
I think so. I don't remember exactly what it was, but Tracy does say, like, you know, doing this workout consistently for a long time can give you that foundation when you do need to step away from it for a little bit. It's,
Yeah.
and you have to, like, give yourself that ability because sometimes you have to. If it's like an injury or surgery or something like that, you have to.
Hmm.
You don't really have a choice, but it does, like, the strength and I think the balance and stuff and the understanding of the physical aspects of it. You don't, like, lose that, but you do, like, the muscle definition is gone in like 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Like that,
But it comes back so quickly.
like, oh my gosh, the endurance to me is so hard to build back, especially
Yeah.
if you don't do a lot of dance cardio, because that helps with
Hmm.
the endurance. But there's a whole faction of the Tamily that never does dance cardio, and you can build endurance through muscular structure for sure, and it's definitely cardiovascular, but
Oh yeah.
it takes a long time, and especially if you're recovering from something and you can't do, a lot of the cardio type of moves. It does take a while. That, to me, like, that's the thing. It's like that's very hard to hold on to. But the strength
Uh-huh.
and the balance, that it's like you can do a star plank when you haven't done one for 3 months. That is amazing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But yeah, you can't breathe while you're doing
Right.
it, and that's
Breathing, that's not important.
yeah.
Well, these drinks are fantastic, but it causes me to not keep track of my questions.
That's okay.
So tell us about your crash course experience and if you were able to meet Tracy.
I was, and it was terrifying and wonderful. I didn't know anybody.
Mm,
I knew no one at that point. So I've even thought about that. The next one that I get to go to, it's like I can't, it's going to be a whole different experience because we're all going to know each other. We're all friends.
mm,
But yeah, I mean, it was. I kind of remember I was just so scared, and I got there so early, like a couple hours, I think, even before, because I was driving in from home, so it was, a good 45 minutes. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to hit traffic. Oh my gosh, what am I going to be late? And Tracy's sister was the first person I saw, and she recognized me on the sidewalk because I had some TA gear on, and she just gave me this big smile and like a thumbs up or and a wave. And I thought, okay,
uh-huh.
this is gonna be good. And I just kind of remember talking to her out in the lobby before everything started, and I was like, yeah, I'm just so nervous. She's like, don't be nervous. This is gonna be great. So, yeah, it was wonderful. And yeah, I got to talk to Tracy both days, but Penny wasn't with her. And so you could kind of tell she was, just really missing her. And um, yeah, so it was just it was more of a little bit of a rushed experience, I think,
Okay.
at the end. And but I also get super starstruck, so I probably weirded her out a little bit.
I don't know if she gets
I just,
weirded out because we're all weird.
yeah, I'm sure she's dealt with all
Right.
kinds. But yes, I mean, she was, of course, absolutely wonderful and gracious. And I mean, I may have told this story before, but the first day, everybody kind of took off right afterwards because we did the lecture beforehand.
Okay.
Then we worked out, and then it was just kind of done, and everybody kind of scattered.
Okay.
And I was so worried about getting a picture with her and just actually going up and talking to her. And the picture came out awful. It was super,
Aw.
super dark. So then the next day I had kind of said to her, I said, hey, at some point can, we get another picture? This one came out really blurry. And so, or no, I had said that, I think, I don't remember when I said it. But anyway, I thought it was so gracious of her to that she just remembered she searched me out specifically and said, okay, blurry picture. Come over here. Let's take another one. It
Aw.
just was kind of, yeah. So
Yeah.
she cares.
She's shockingly sweet when you meet her in person.
Yeah. Hmm.
I kind of thought it might be more like a celebrity trainer comes into the room, does, the workout with you and sneaks away. And
Uh-huh.
like, as time has gone on, it seems like she spends as much time as she possibly can and gets as personal with people as she can. And that's not, especially not like getting successful in a career. That's not usually what happens later on.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And you and I had talked about this. I remember this just touched my heart so much that when you guys were in the Hamptons last year and outside of the workout and the lecture, all the time that you guys got to spend as a group with her outside of that, that she just wanted to get to know you as people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like this is not time to talk about the method or what centric you are, whatever. And that just touched my heart so much. I just thought that was so wonderful and gracious.
Yeah, and it really seems like that's what she's trying to do for those kind of things, going forward, of
Hmm.
course, when we're all allowed to be with each other.
Yeah.
What is something that you've learned from Tracy?
I have really learned that you can roll around on the floor, lifting your own body weight for an hour like a beast, doing these crazy kicks and all this stuff, and that you will gain so much functional strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a PT, my training was, function, function, function. We're not exercising, we're not rehabbing a person if we're not doing something functional. So, say we would do squats for somebody that has a hard time getting up off of their couch or, a basic bridge, not like the ones we do, but just laying down and doing a basic bridge that'll help you roll around in bed or get out, just simple things like that that you have to kind of break down. And, until I started doing Tracy and feeling those results for myself, I just had that narrow view of, not that my education was bad or anything like that. Of course, I'm not going to have my 85-year-old guy do some
Right.
Tracy moves, but that something so, in a sense, kind of obscure and things that people weren't seeing before she came along and created this,
Mhm.
that, you could just sit there and do a bunch of coupes all day. And guess what? Now you're going up the stairs with so much more ease than you
Mhm.
were before. And it's just phenomenal. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something to know that even if you are someone that doesn't do dance cardio or you can't or whatever type of phase you're in, you're still building like amazing cardiovascular health just
Hmm.
from the mat workout. Like, you think about those things and it's like it's amazing. It really it is completely.
Yeah.
Um Emily would like to know, how did you find your career?
Ooh, good question. I like this one. Okay. This is an easy one. So, I grew up a dancer, and when I was 15, I tore my ACL dancing. And so, um, I went to therapy, of course, for, gosh, I was there for 8 months, I think, because I actually did a couple months of rehab before I had surgery because auditions for the next year of the dance team were coming up. And I didn't want to be incapacitated and on crutches. So long story short, my instructor and I, we worked something out. We pushed my surgery back so I could do this. Um, but yeah, so then just in the course of my rehab, it was almost like I just found my calling. I always knew I wanted to do healthcare. I thought at that point I may want to go into nursing, but I wasn't quite sure. And so, yeah, just as I was doing my rehab, I mean, this was it. I had tunnel vision and there was nothing else that I wanted to do. So that's how I found it.
So can you tell everyone exactly what your career is?
I am a physical therapist.
I'm like, I know, but I
Sorry.
figured it was kind
I know, I just assume everybody knows.
of right. It's so interesting to me, all the people like in that, in the medical field in general, but especially it's like that mind body connection. There's just a ton of that in the Tracy community.
Hmm.
What would be your advice to someone that is new to the method or new to the Tamily?
Um, Start slow. Don't get intimidated. Have a lot of patience with yourself and reach out to the Tamily. Know that we are all here. Even if, you find us on IG or wherever, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at, but, um, even if you don't want to post, if you just want to be a stalker and watch everybody, just really take it all in. Watch everybody at every level. Know that we all struggle no matter what. No matter how long we've been doing this, we've got good and bad days. And, really educate yourself on the methodology, just, the whole point of it, basically. Why are we doing these,
Yeah.
crazy funky moves and all that stuff? What is the point of that? Really, read the 30-day method book, which I think
Mhm.
is a great foundation for anybody. I love that book. And I actually go back
Mhm.
probably every couple of years and just kind of read back through it. It's so good.
Mhm.
Um, if you're streaming, of course, watch the breakdowns. I love watching the breakdowns, sometimes multiple times. I'm just, yeah. So, yeah, just really, really just have patience with yourself because, yeah, you're gonna have those days where it just feels really awkward.
Mhm.
And I actually, when I was at the crash course, Courtney was the trainer that was
Mhm.
there. And I remember we were doing like the coupe into an arabesque, and she came behind me and grabbed my leg and pulled it so far close to like the middle.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, no, 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 you're not getting it. You need to bring that way over here. And I was like, ow, it hurts. It doesn't move that way. And she was basically like, well, it needs to make it happen. And I told her every time I do something like that and I feel like I have to adjust myself, I will think of her, and I truly do every time.
That is so funny. Trainers are so amazing. That's
Yeah, yeah, they are.
um,
Where would we be without them?
we have another question from Emily. She said, "What's the best advice you've ever received?"
Ooh, good question. Man, let me take a drink while I think about it.
Right. Let's take a shot of Fireball while we get ready.
Oh man, I honestly probably just that, just to, I mean, be yourself because that sounds so like corny and basic, but I've as I've gotten older, I've become much more confident and less afraid to show people who I am. And I don't know. That's a hard question. That's a really hard
No, that's
question.
nice though. I mean, there's some people
Yeah.
whole life they're not going to be their self, and
Hmm.
it's a waste of time. You should just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if somebody doesn't like you for who you are, then
Mhm. Right.
that's their loss. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because there's plenty of other people who will love you completely for who you are, and I mean,
definitely.
there's plenty. Yeah.
Yep. Join the Tamily.
Yep, exactly.
So now we have another question from Nicole, which is a totally different realm of topic. She said, "What's your favorite type of move or leg sequence?"
Ooh, good one. I like funny, I immediately think of the one I don't like, the like my nemesis move. I kind of love, even though I'm not that great at it, the I don't know what you call it, like the plank with the one leg in the air.
Mhm.
I love that one. It feels so good. And even though I'm like not even close to getting the positioning on it that I want, I really love that move. And honestly, I'm a plank girl. I love planks. I love how she does them. I mean, I hate the elbow ones where you're just gonna sit there for a minute and just no, those are awful. But I love Tracy's planks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Even though some of them are very difficult, they make you feel
Hmm.
so strong.
Uh-huh, they do.
Definitely. So now you have to tell us what your nemesis move is.
Okay, so it's where, and I've hated this since Meta, and I mean, probably just because it's a weak spot of mine, but it's where we're on our, kind of sitting on our sides, and then we have to lift up.
Yeah.
Hate it. Hate it.
Hate that too.
I slide around on the mat the whole time. I'm constantly feeling like I have to adjust.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm weak there. I'm still just so weak there, and that's so hard for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
That
getting better, but it's definitely, yeah, when I see that one coming, I just,
right.
here we go.
Lifting your hip off the ground. I don't
Uh-huh.
think I could even do that for like the first 2 years of the method. I was like, this is physically
Yeah.
impossible.
Uh-huh.
Of course we can do it, but oh my gosh, it burns.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'm totally there with you on that one. We have so many comments in the chat. I can hardly tell if there's questions. Um, I'm just gonna read what Centra typed. It's not a question. It's too funny. She said we put ourselves on IG with crotch shots on the regular. Clearly, we have confidence from this method. That is definitely true. I don't think there's
Sister.
anything in life that could build confidence like this method. But posting things on Instagram,
Oh yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
confidence almost gets to a out of control point. Um, oh, actually, Nicole asked, "What is the nemesis move that makes you cuss every time?" So
There we go.
lifting the hip off the ground. Okay. Well, you have millions of lovely comments, but I think that's all of the questions in the chat. So I've had half a drink, and I really can't keep track of what I'm doing. Um, why is your workout important to you?
Ah, because of how it makes me feel. It makes me feel strong and capable, just caring for our health and being consistent, even when it's not easy to be. Um, I feel like there are people that, you know, do it without, I mean, there obviously are people that do it without thinking. Every single morning, this is what they do. And I can think of, several people right off the top of my head. I'm not one of those people. Even though I love to work out, it's always been something I've never understood about myself. Why is it so hard to get to that point and get my ass on the mat when I love it so much?
Right. I'm the same
But
way.
yeah, I mean, yeah. But when you get there and you're done, you were so proud. You never regret a workout,
Right.
and yeah, just maintaining that strength, especially now as we age, it's so important. And with what I do, now I work with primarily geriatric population, and just to see the struggles that these folks go through, because I think a lot of that generation, they were taught if you're hurt, you rest.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe to a point, but you have to exercise. When I had my ACL surgery when I was a teenager, they basically, well, no, they literally took me from the recovery room to the therapy room, and just that's kind of when things were really kind of coming about, that, yeah, movement
Mm-hmm.
heals you.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, just all the benefits that, working out has.
That's what's really amazing too about your field of physical therapy, because we still have tons of medical doctors that will say rest and Advil, and you have to like push for them
Yep.
to say, well, I guess you can go to physical therapy. And then you
Yeah.
go there and they say the cure is movement, not rest. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's weird to me because that aspect of the medical field, like, there's definitely great medical doctors that are proponents of it, but sometimes, you don't get, they're like, oh, well, you're going to have co-pays and all that kind of stuff. Like, what's your
Hmm.
body? Like,
Yeah.
there should always be rest and
Yeah.
like, you need mobility and flexibility, and you only get that from doing, physical therapy.
Right. And actually, I mean, with everything going on right now, I work home health. And so my agency finally got access to PPE. So we are going to start taking COVID positive patients. And so we are actually kind of going through this right now, where there's a gal who's on our caseload that was in the hospital, of course, and she was getting some therapy there. Well, then they send her home and say she can't have therapy for 2 weeks because her respiratory system is too compromised. She can't handle it. Well, we're like, well, if she was already doing therapy in the hospital, so then for the next 2 weeks, she's going to lose all of her gains. So yeah, there's just still that, some doctors know how beneficial and necessary we are, and others are just kind of like, no, no, you need to rest and heal first. And so, yeah, I mean, it's still there.
It's just
Just
crazy.
depends.
When did rest like ever build strength for someone?
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I get it if you can't, like, especially
Right.
recovering and you have
Yeah.
sores or something. Yes, I understand that. But most of the
Hmm.
time, and that's like what I would say to my doctor is, I know athletes don't rest and not resting. You tell me how to do things without resting.
Right.
If I was in the
Exactly.
NFL, I wouldn't be resting. They're like, game next Sunday. What are we
Uh-huh.
doing in between?
Exactly.
It
And
like,
people hear the word rest and they think they just have to lay in bed
yeah,
and do absolutely nothing. It's like, well, there's still plenty of things you can do while you're laying in that bed to strengthen yourself.
exactly.
There's always something. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we have a bunch of things in the chat. So our dancing queen, Sintra, would like to know, what is your favorite dance, named dance, and what music do you use for it?
Okay. Um, I normally use the music either on the DVD or, um, on streaming. I still do, a lot of times I still do a lot of my DVDs when I do cardio.
Okay.
Um, I want to say, though, there's one that I had learned on the Unleash Your Inner Pop Star
Okay.
DVD, and I've seen girls do it on streaming, and I want to say it's called Dark Horse,
Okay. That's this.
possibly. It's like it's the one that has the this move in it, like the funky arm
Okay. Okay.
thing.
Yeah, I know
um,
what you're talking.
that yeah, and I actually remember. I want to say it was Tracy and maybe Courtney back a couple years ago. They had shown it on her Instagram, and it was before it had gotten released anywhere. It was just a quick little 30-second clip of them working on a new dance. And just even right then, I was in love with that dance. I thought, oh my gosh, that looks so
That
fun.
one seems very complicated to me.
Yeah, there's a couple parts that are tough. Yeah, that's the thing. Tracy's choreography to me can be very tough. I always used to. I mean, I picked up choreography pretty quickly
Hmm.
in my dance career,
Hmm.
but this is way more challenging. Which I mean, is good. That's the point. But yeah, there's also right now, actually, it's perfect for me because I can't do a whole lot of jumping or anything crazy. The hip hop that she put out around Thanksgiving, I've kind of been working on that one, and
Okay.
that's good to kind of build my stamina back up. That one is so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit easier. It's not as much of a mental challenge, but that one's a lot of fun too.
So,
Oh, and cheer. I love cheer.
oh,
Sorry.
okay. I don't know that.
Cheer. I will say, Sintra, I can say I have done cheer to Jamiroquai's Canned Heat. I love doing that one. That I will do with my own music because that one's perfect for canned heat. But
I thought you
so
were gonna get out of your chair and demonstrate it for us.
no, no. I don't really have the room in this right now. You should see the other side of this room. It's nothing but clutter because we are very slowly working on rearranging several rooms in our house right now. My poor husband's been working from home in our dining room. So
Oh,
we're trying to find him a good office in one of our spare rooms. And I'm like, we are making me a tam cave like yesterday.
yeah. You
So yeah, my house is just a disaster right now.
So Nicole said something, and actually, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but you are a Ask Tamily interview veteran, and this is your
Yes,
second interview. What
yes.
number was your first interview?
44.
Okay, 44 and 92.
I'm the only nerd that knows that.
You're really not. A lot of people have your number memorized. It's
Yeah.
cool to memorize
Okay, good. I feel
a
better.
number. Um, so Nicole said she didn't get to ask you this question in the first interview, but she wants to know if you would tell us about your cool as fuck tattoos.
Oh, okay. I can do that. All right. Well, I do have the embarrassing one from when I was younger. I have a White Sox tattoo on my low back, which nobody needs to see that, but I love my White Sox. But so my arm tattoo, you can kind of see it. It kind of wraps around. Okay, so the stars on either side
Mhm.
are from Harry Potter.
Mhm.
So they are on the top of every book page. So I, of course, am obsessed with Harry Potter. I think a lot of the Tamily knows this, but I wanted something more obscure that was just kind of cool to go with what I had.
Mhm.
So I thought the stars were really cool.
Mhm.
The fist is actually that represents Green Day.
Okay.
That's from their American Idiot album. But yeah, they're life. I listen to them every single day. They are, they're my lifeline basically. And then so the broom, it's from the musical Wicked. I mean, it's nothing specific. I just had the tattoo artist basically. I said just put a broom in the Green Day fist. So as a whole, the whole thing is just kind of it's hard to describe, but it just kind of has a lot of personal meaning to me. It's just kind of, this sounds it's basically kind of like you are your own worst enemy, basically. Don't let anyone else bring you down.
Okay.
Basically, go out and you do you,
Okay.
and don't worry about what anybody else has to say because all of that comes from within, caring about all that shit, like we were saying, and you know, so yeah, that kind of just I kind of went through a point in my life where I was really trying to become more vocal about the things I believed in and things like that. And you just get, you get pushback from people. And I was always I tried to be very aware of, I wasn't one of those, like a vegetarian that's going out and telling everybody, like, you can't eat this. And oh my gosh, what do you do? Like, never, ever, ever would I do that to people. Like, that's because people did that to me before I was a vegetarian. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't do anything to people. I'm like, just because you say.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it was just, so that's, I mean, just, quick example of that, just, yeah, just trying to voice who I was. And, you know, some of the people that are closest to you in your life, unfortunately, will give you that pushback. And it kind of got me down for a little bit. And then I just kind of decided, you know what? Screw
Right.
them. So,
It's probably around
yeah.
the time you started the method.
Yeah, probably. The method fixes everything.
Right. Um, so Centra has another question for you, which is which DC DVD is your favorite?
The the one I got with the original map. So I want to say, is it like DC? I think it's just called Dance Cardio. I don't know. It's the one that kind of goes with that, like that Tracy filmed, I think, in Gwyneth's house,
Okay.
where there's the tree behind her. It's the same setting as the
Okay.
original Matt DVD.
Okay.
Yeah. So I absolutely love that one. And I don't even know if you can get it anymore.
You probably can't. Well, maybe on eBay or something.
Yeah. But it's funny because I'll see, the trainers do some DC
Mm-hmm.
and there'll be a couple of 8 counts here and there sprinkled in and I go, oh, okay, I know that dance. And oh no, they're doing something else. But it's kind of neat that they still use some of that choreography
Okay.
sprinkled into some of the newer dances. So yeah. But yeah, that one's my favorite.
Wow.
If I want some low impact,
Mhm.
actually through Meta, I've never really been great on high impact cardio. So through Meta, I didn't really do any of those DVDs.
Okay.
I did, it's called Dance Plus Cardio,
Okay.
and there's two, like,
Okay.
one's about a half an hour, the other one's closer to like 25 minutes.
Okay.
And it just kind of repeats a lot, but it's just, real
Mhm.
basic. And
Um,
I mean, it's still good.
does Tracy
I love it.
pants on that have cassette tapes and her name? Do you,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what studio she's at, but it has kind of like the gold
Uh-huh.
shelving behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I know that one.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah, it just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. If I want, something real simple and basic that I just kind of want to easily dance out, that you don't really have to put much thought into that Dance Plus Cardio one, but if I want more of a challenge, then I love that original DVD that I got.
That's
Just kind of nostalgic for me.
Well, there are still like tons of comments in here. Hearts, clapping. Everyone loves you. Um,
Love you guys too.
um,
I'm trying to read as we go here.
what do your friends and family think of the method?
Um, my husband knows that we are all a bunch of badasses.
Ooh.
I have been begging that man for years to just try it with me, even do some arms. He won't do it. I'll even show him posts when some of the husbands get in there. I'm like, see, they'll do it. He's like, no, I'm good.
Mine's the same.
But he knows. Yeah, he always
Yeah.
says he knows how hard it looks. Um, and yeah, kind of the same thing with a few of my friends. I think a lot of us have probably done that where, oh my gosh, I found, the holy grail of exercise. You've got to do this with me. And yeah, all my friends that I've had try it, they're like, yeah, that's great, but no, not for me.
Makes us
Because it's hard. It's hard for them. Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, it's just not my cup of tea.
I say that all
I'd
the
rather
time.
just,
It's elite people who can do this workout, and people always think, "Oh, it's girly or something." You
yeah,
only use 3-pound weights. It's actually like very, very challenging.
yeah, yeah. You lift a 3 pound weight the way we do it, it's hard as shit. My arms feel like they want to fall off.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me that even after, I mean, it just proves that why this method is so great of doing it for
Hmm.
years and in 3 minutes of weight-free arms, you can feel like you are going to die.
Yep. The hardest and most rewarding thing I've ever done. I've always said that. But yeah, I even have, one of my husband's real good friends, he saw, a couple posts on my TAM page and, he said, it doesn't even look like they get their heart rate up.
Mhm.
I said, I really hope that you set him straight.
Hold your
Because
arms out for 30 seconds.
get your ass down on the floor and try it, dude.
Yeah, I always tell people that. If you make fun of me, you have to do it for a whole minute.
Yep, exactly.
Um, do you happen to have a motivational quote that you would like to share with the Tamily?
I actually have several, and I brought it with me just in case because,
Look
and I
at
was
being
actually talking
prepared when we
to,
didn't even send you the questions.
I know, well, I got nothing but time now. But, and I actually meant to, Darlene and I were kind of commenting back and forth about, it was on her post maybe about a week ago, asking like, hey, do you guys have any quotes? And so I actually have this little piece of paper. I'll read it to you, but I kind of keep this near me, and I've always kind of had these. Um, so, I mean, the first two are real basic. They kind of seem like, like really, but they're very powerful. So, just simply, I've got this, and keep going. And it seems, when you feel like your leg is going to fall off and all you want to do is lay on that mat, you just tell yourself, keep going. And it is very powerful. um, Another one I like, and is kind of ironic because I hate with a passion the Chicago Cubs, but their manager a couple of years ago was kind of their slogan. It says, embrace the suck. So, all right, this sucks, but I'm embracing this because I know how wonderful it's going to be for me. So, and then another one I really love is don't wish you gave more. That one's probably my favorite. So even on those days where you're like, man, like you get off the mat and you're like, did I just really waste my time? It's like, well, no, any movement is good.
Mhm.
But every time you hit that mat, whether you've got 100% that day or you can only give 50, give everything you've got
Mhm.
and you'll just be proud of yourself and know that you did something wonderful. So yeah, I like
That's
that one.
excellent. I love it. Well, I have to
Thanks.
tell you that we only have 7 minutes left. And I
Oh, wow, that's fast.
never, okay, this is the 90-second interview. I've never had that many minutes go by without me looking at the clock. So I don't know if it's how fun you are or that we're drinking, but
Yeah, it's the
I
alcohol.
thought I was going to glance at that clock and see like we had 30 minutes left. So
Yeah.
we only have seven. Um, Let me ask you, what has been your greatest advice that you've received from someone in the Tamily?
Whew, that's another hard one. Only because you get so much good advice from people, it's kind of hard to say what has been the best. It just kind of depends. I and I may have said this to you before. I think about you when I was traveling, and if you're traveling or if you're in a small space and you feel like, okay, I can't get on the floor and do all this crazy stuff, do arms.
Mm-hmm.
Just do arms. There's always room for arms.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it several times. You put everything you have into those, 12 to 15 minutes, and that's one hell of a workout.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, really, think of what else. I'm so bad at on the spot stuff like that.
That's
It's
okay.
such a big question.
Well, I mean,
I'll come up with stuff afterwards. I'll be like, oh yeah.
it's true. Always do arms, even if you've been
Yeah.
for 24 hours straight.
Yep.
That came from Maybella, though, so we have to give her.
Well, there we go.
Nicole reminded me that we're supposed to do two truths and a lie, and we only have 5 minutes.
Oh,
You
yes.
have that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to keep my face straight.
Okay.
Okay, so I was asked to model as a child. I am deathly afraid of robots. My husband and I got engaged 2 months after we met.
Okay, so asked to model as a child, afraid of robots, and you and your husband got engaged 2 months after you met. Okay, people need to guess in the chat. We shouldn't have allowed you to prepare for this because I cannot tell what the
Well, I'm really glad you did because you were right. It does take some thought because
it does.
there were a couple other things I was going to say, but I'm like, well, that's too specific, so that's going to be a dead giveaway. It's kind of hard to come up with a couple of things.
Well, it was so funny last week when Jenny said 3 things that were true. That was hilarious. Okay. I feel like Nicole's guessing robots, Natalia's guessing robots, Emily's guessing the marriage thing. I think that one's true. Jenny's guessing the robots. What was the first one again?
Oh, that I was asked to be a model as a child, or not be a model, but model.
Okay.
So you guys are guessing what the lie
Yeah, what
is,
the
right?
lie is. I definitely
Okay.
think the marriage one is true. I don't know why. And for some reason, I think that you're afraid of robots. So I think, I don't know, you have that gorgeous blonde hair. You probably were asked to be a child model. This is difficult. Um, I'm gonna go with the child model isn't true.
Okay, can I give my answer?
Yes.
It's being engaged after two
Oh,
months.
really?
That's not true.
How long was it?
I am terrified of robots. Terrified. And I don't know if I even remember when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, going to Wisconsin Dells, and there was this, I mean, back in the 80s, it was, not good animatronics at all. But I think that might be where it started. That like it was just this funky ride and they were freaky, and I'm pretty sure that's how the world's gonna end. It's just gonna be a robot apocalypse. I'm terrified of them.
Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully the coronavirus doesn't turn people into robots.
Right?
So how long were you dating before you got engaged?
um 2, 3 years?
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I just
3 years.
believed that 2 month thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, now we're down.
My parents did. That's where I came up with that. My parents got engaged
Oh,
within like 2 months of meeting each other, and they're still married 40 something years later.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, my husband and I, we were together for 5 years before we got married. So we took our time.
That's awesome. Yeah, my husband and I were together for 7 before we got married.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, but you're going to be together. What's the rush? We're good.
right, exactly. When
I
you know,
was still in school. He was in the Navy.
right.
So it's like,
When you know, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Instagram for the first time is giving me a countdown. So we have 1 minute and
Oh,
37 seconds. Uh,
okay.
is there anything else you would like to say to the Tamily while you have this audience?
Um, okay, quick. Honestly, I mean, thank you all for being you and just being the amazing, supportive inspiration that you are. If at any point I have given even half of what you guys have given to me in this journey, then I have succeeded. So, I hope that, my hope is that I can just be as supportive and loving as you all are to everyone. You guys are amazing. I love you all.
We love you, Chrissy.
Aw.
And thank you for being such a fun interview.
Oh, thank you. This was so fun. So, yeah, hopefully you guys didn't mind seeing my face again.
Of course,
This was fun.
loved it.
I love the happy hour idea. This is
44
great.
and 92. Yes, doesn't it make it for
There we
a
go.
super fun interview?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Better than that cup of tea I was drinking last
Right.
time.
Early in the morning. Like, that's
Yeah.
not fun. We got to do this from
No,
now on.
definitely. new
Well,
thing.
thank you, Chrissy, for being number 44 and number 92.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I'll see you again soon for another Zoom workout.
I can't wait.
Thank you for watching, Tamily.